Thank you so much for coming to the devotion experience with me and Johanna. We're coming on to talk about the 29th gene key, to talk about all of the aspects of it, of the programming partner, of its involvement in your life, of its activation right now in the collective. And Johanna is actually going to be doing a beautiful energy transmission guided meditation to activate this gene key. So it's going to be really amazing. And we're going to probably do that towards the middle. We're going to talk a little bit about the 29th gene key, do that, and then continue our talk about everything that's kind of linked and connected to the 29th gene key and what it has to do with your life, and how commitment, devotion, and half-heartedness play a role in everyone's life, no matter if you have this in your profile or you have it in your human design chart or not. It's something that we all are experiencing in this life. And I'll take a moment to introduce ourselves. Johanna, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure.
Tell everybody who you are and what you do and what you're doing here.
I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I am the soul shaman. I connect with your soul on a higher conscious dimensional level. So I work with a lot of galactic beings. I work with the angelic realm a lot more than, I'm not like a medium that connects with your loved ones. That's not anything that I choose to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm here because the gene keys for me has the energy part of it, bringing the energy into it, really allowing us to feel it and experience that higher vibrational frequency in our body, and the choice that we really do choose to live in the lower vibration or the higher vibration. And so when I took my journey, I got to really bring that energy piece into it, and it really changed everything for me. And so us coming together is really bringing this scientific aspect and this energetic aspect and really merging them and marrying them beautifully together, and allowing you guys to consciously understand and at the same time experience it in a way that you may not have experienced it before. And so this really is an experience that is going to blow your mind.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Yeah, because we both bring different things to the table, and an experience is like all of your senses, your mind, your body, and your soul, everything. And energy has a part of this, and I know that I'm going to be bringing in the science and the understanding for your mind. So bringing us together is going to allow you to have this experience with it. So like I said, the mind aspect, I'm going to be talking about the gene key so you understand it intellectually, and Joanna's going to take you through a journey so that you can just surrender into it and then embody it. So we want you to connect to it at different levels. So that's why we're having this experience for you guys, so that you can experience the gene keys this way and start to feel them at a deeper level, and start to feel them pulse through your life at a deeper level. Because when you have that awareness and that attunement to it, you start to notice it show up in your life. So before I get started into it, I want to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me, because some of you came from Johanna, but I'm Ashley Pfeffer, and I work with the gene keys and human design, and it actually came to me in a very uneasy, unsure, anxious time in my life when I was discovering who I was. I was asking myself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And I was freaking out because I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know where to turn or where to go, because I didn't have like a strong community. I felt like I was in it by myself. And I went to an event and somebody showed me their chart and asked to see mine, and I'm like, what is this? And I just felt like I could already understand it and read it. It felt like it was my language, like it was my first language. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. And from then I started doing the deeper work within myself. And just last year I started to take on like a teacher, facilitator, activator type role, so that I can show people the door too. So I wanted to step into that role of showing people the door to this tool, to this path, to this way, just like somebody else did to me. So I feel like I have embodied it. I'm not a master, I'm not a guru, I'm not an expert. I'm just a person that is really deeply devoted and ingrained and intertwined into this. Like the Gene Keys teaching are not just what Richard Rudd has written in his book. You channel it. They're living transmissions. They're energies, and they're not limited to what is written in a book. They're not limited to your understanding either. They'll come in and show themselves to you through experiences, through conversations, through energy experiences, through epiphany experiences. They're just going to show up however they show up, and you may or may not understand them. But once that epiphany does drop in and you start to embody it into your heart, you're going to start making those shifts, and it's going to catalyze those breakthroughs for you. So we want to make sure that we're showing up here to give you a taste of this, so that it can start to sink in and create that breakthrough and epiphany for you, so that you can begin to be devoted to your life, to your journey, to the present, to your process, to spirituality, to whatever. We want you to understand what devotion means on an energetic and intellectual level, so that it is very much a part of your life. Because I feel like this is one of the most important gene keys. I mean, all of them are important and equally important, but I love this one, and I love what capacity it has to transform your life. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
I want to know that a lot of times people come into this and they become aware. We all are aware of how an experience feels when it's in a low vibration, when it's a negative experience. We know what that feels like in our body. But rarely do we allow ourselves to lean back and experience the higher frequencies. And this is giving you the opportunity to see that we literally can make the choice to surrender into it, to lean into it and raise our vibration, raise our frequency, and then allow your body to do the work. Allow that beautiful feeling of that higher frequency to just take over. And that's what for me, that's what I use this for, is to allow myself to come into that feeling, to that vibration. And so you guys are going to get to experience that today. And that gives you a taste of what you always have, that you have in you right now, and the option through any gene key, through any experience you have in your life, to choose to surrender and raise into that higher frequency and feel what that feels like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, feels good, huh?
Yeah, it does. We've been already in this frequency.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just jump into it. So I wanted to show you a resource first for those of you that are diving into the gene keys. And for those of you that don't know what the gene keys are, it's your hologenic profile. It goes by your date, your time of birth, your location of birth, and it shows you these different themes and patterns in your life for your own spiritual growth, for your own physical growth. It's just a map to unfolding your higher purpose hidden in your DNA. So it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful experience, and you're able to take your way through the different spheres, activate your gifts, unlock your heart through your relationships. Open your heart through your relationships, travel back into your childhood, really meet that inner child, embody that inner child. And when you're able to do that, you're able to tap into that pearl sequence where you're able to liberate your prosperity, unleash your creativity, and really align with your true self, your true mission, your true purpose, right? And it's just a beautiful journey, and I just love being able to take people on that. And you can go to the Gene Key website and download your profile if you don't already have it. Most of you probably do have it if you're on this right now, because you either came from my group or Joanna's. For those of you that don't know either of us, let us know how you found us. And you can join Joanna's group, which is Ignite Your Light. Yep. And mine is Your Life by Design. She and I have a paid version of the group where we dive deeper, and you can, explore that as well if you would like to. But let me screen share for a moment so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So I want to give you this resource from the Gene Keys website. You can just go into Google and type in Gene Key 40 or 29, and this will show up where it is talking about the living library. And the living library just shows you all the different features of the Gene Key. So it'll show you the different frequencies. So we have the shadow, the gift, and the city, half-heartedness, commitment, devotion, the programming partner, which is the 30th Gene Key, the codon ring. And we're going to talk about a little bit about these. I'm going to dive into this Gene Key so you kind of get an understanding of where it's coming from, what it's doing for you. And then we'll move into the energetic experience of it. Because I want your mind to know it's okay to go there. You can go there. We're going to ease our way in instead of just going into the energy and being like, I don't know what's going on. So, and this is a beautiful one. So I want So before you guys get committed to this experience, we want to allow you to test the waters a little bit, because I know some of you kind of need to test the waters before you open up completely, because with energy work, it's like about being open. It's about being committed. It's about experiencing it. And if you guys are scared or have that fear around it, or you're like, I'm not sure about this, then you fall into the half-heartedness and you won't get the complete experience. So this is allowing you to test the waters, allowing you to be like, okay, this feels okay. I'm ready to open up. Because I know some of you still have walls around you because you feel like you need to protect yourself, which is fine. And your whole life is about opening yourself up to relationships. That's why we're here, is to have relationships, to commune, to be in community. Unity. We're here to come together as one through community. So we're here to kind of coax you out of your shell hole if you're in there. Some of you are like, I'm ready, let's do this, right? So yeah, let me, oh, hello. Like, what's going on here? Clicking on stuff. So when you scroll down, it's beautiful because it has all these different aspects of it. So we have the codon ring. So the codon ring for this gene key is the ring of union. This one is all about the purification of human relationships. So we have the 4th, the 59th, the 29th, and the 7th. This one is, I'll just read it for you guys, containing the collective codes to bring the human family into realization of its state of higher union, so uniting. These 4 gene keys have long governed human relationship patterns and their dysfunction on their planet. The combined dynamic of virtue with forgiveness, devotion, and transparency sets the stage for a completely new phenomenon to be seated in humanity: collective leadership. This codon ring is currently undergoing a great deal of spontaneous mutation in our DNA and is directly responsible for a huge shift in the way in which we humans relate, particularly through our sexuality and our gender. This one also talks about the sacred union of the divine feminine, divine masculine, and also of that counterpart in the physical, where you merge with your partner and you share the same aura. We're all trying to come together to lead as one instead of lead as in a hierarchy. So this is a devotion to that unity, to uniting together. And the physiology is in the solar plex, in the sacral.
It's in the channel between the sacral and the solar plexus. Because if you think about it from an energy standpoint, your sacral chakra is where you're going to either fully trust your intuition or you're going to live in doubt and fear. And then there's this channel that connects to your solar plexus, which is all about confidence and empowerment and being able to go in the flow, because the solar plexus is the ocean of emotion. And so this is where we have to flow with life and ride that wave of fear, or that comes with taking that leap into the unknown sometimes. And so there has to be a channel that we have a central column that runs down our body. When you think about a Kundalini awakening, I talked about this a little bit in Ashley's group, but we have that central column and that flow of energy, and that sexual energy that comes with this key is that magnetic energy that really allows us to live in that frequency of like the abundant superhighway. It's just like this flow that runs through you. And so we have to open those channels. And so this actually lives between the 2 channels, which is beautiful because it really opens you up to trust and then come into that empowerment and confidence that you can actually act on your trust.
Yeah, and this is talking about, I think the title of this gene key is called Leaping into the Void. And it's interesting because it comes out of your sacral chakra, which has to do with your life force energy. So as soon as you commit to something, it unleashes your life force. So it gives you the drive, it gives you the energy, it gives you all that you need to move forward in that. You just have to commit to it. And when you're half-hearted, you're kind of holding yourself back a little bit. So you don't have that unleashed reservoir of life force energy. So as soon as you commit, you have the whole universe and your energy conspiring to help you. And that I wanted to read you guys a little bit about the I Ching hexagram for this. So oh, it's backwards. That's okay. So in the I Ching, it is what the foundation of the gene keys and the human design is built off of. And these hexagrams, you can see at the bottom, there's like a masculine and feminine. So I believe that when there is a break in between, that's the feminine, and the masculine is a long bar. So it creates this design, right? And each I Ching has or the I Ching has some base hexagrams, the ones that are that we put together. So the abysmal river is the 29th gene key. The 29th gene key is one of the main hexagrams that we use to make other hexagrams. And so you can see in gene key 64, it's made up of the abysmal water, and then the oh, I can't remember what that one is. It's the fire one, the clinging fire. So those two coming together create the 64th gene key, the 64th hexagram, because those two come together. For the 29th gene key, it is just the abysmal water. And we're going to talk about the abysmal water and what it has to do with this gene key and how it's going to look, playing and flowing in there. And then later we'll bring in the other ones to see how activating this gene key brings in all the other ones and how they play together.
Because it really is about a flow of abundance. I mean, even today, I mean, we didn't plan for this to happen, but we just said, let's do it Saturday. And today is 8/18/18. And today, 18/18 angel number, if you get into the energy of just what this day is, it's about being in the flow of your life, the flow of abundance, the flow of prosperity, of the flow of just going with what freaking feels good to you and living your life wholly from that place. And so that is the energy of today, not just in this key, but period. It's like, it's just the energy of today. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's awesome. And this gene key just became activated, I think, late last night or something like that. Today's like the first day, basically, that this gene key is active. So it's active for all of us, meaning that the sun has turned on this gate. Because as you've noticed in your life's work, if you're on your gene key profile, your life's work has to do with your birthday. So your birthday determines what gene key is in your life's work. So right now, anyone born in this time period will have gene key 29 as their life's work. So when it's activated by the sun, everybody's experiencing it. So that means it's a major theme for everybody right now. So whether you have it or not, usually right now it is active. You have that access to that energy right now. The sun is activating it for you. And for me in particular, I have gate 46, which comes out of the self, the G center, and in the channel of discovery, it goes 46 to 29. I don't normally have this gene key, this gate, but today I do. So it totally connected a whole channel for me. So I'm experiencing that channel being activated for me. So if you have gene key or gate 46, today you have a complete channel, the channel of discovery. And I'll talk about that channel too. And it's a really awesome channel. So we'll talk about that. Where do you get those awesome flashcards? These flashcards are actually from Wonderland. Elijah Parker, who works very closely with Richard, he created these, and they're flipping amazing. There's so much detail on these, and they go through and they talk about all of the physiology, the programming partner, the hexagram, what ring it's part of, just everything that you could need on there is just all at glance. And you can use them as oracle cards. You can set up your profile with them and just lay them out and contemplate them. I also have these, which are the Wisdom Keeper Oracle decks, and they're the Faces of Awakening. And so this artist is, I just love her work so much. So this is where we're in right now, is commitment with this Wisdom Keeper. So I'm going to read the hexagram because everything starts from the I Ching, the Book of Changes, and I'm going to begin with the Book of Changes. So I'm going to read this to you guys. This is talking about the Abysmal River. The abysmal river is the pouring stream of life's mysteries, diving into the void, past our fears, into the infinite ocean of love. The most dangerous part of a river is on the slippery banks of half-heartedness. The lesson is to dive in with absolute and utter trust, or to walk away from the river entirely if it is not the right time. Once we commit, the power of the river will take us all the way home as we learn to let go and trust. In its highest octave, this leap into the void is a reunion with the beloved, where we pour ourselves infinitely into the unifying principle of love. Explore how the descending energy of the abysmal water is expressed in the keys. When the water is out of alignment we see chaos, we see doubt, we see inadequacy, and we see impatience. But when the water is being crushed, we see intolerance, dishonesty, oppression, and conflict. Yet in its highest open state, the divine water brings timelessness, innocence, and the wisdom of peace and forgiveness. Contemplate half-heartedness in your life when you are too afraid to dive into the unknown or overcommit your energy to too many pathways. When we trust in the river to guide us home, every drop of water becomes the nectar of love. Beautiful, right?
I love that. Because I think so many times people, have all these options or all these opportunities or pathways that open up for them. And they get so afraid they have to just pick one. And how I see it as, you just have to pick the one that you are committed to right now in this moment, because they show me all the rivers, kind of all the rivers of your desires anyway, merging into this one beautiful stream. And that's how they present it to me in my third eye. And it's so beautiful because we have all these different pathways that we are available to us that will lead us home. And it's not like you have to just pick that one. It's right now. What are you committing to yourself right now? Because it's going to lead you to where you want to go. You have to kind of pull back and see the big picture. Take your eyes off of the destination and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. Like think of a lazy river where you're just completely laid back and just floating down the waters, just watching everything and all the beauty go by. Like that's how they show it to me. And it's so refreshing.
Yeah. It is a path of surrender. It's a path of commitment, because you have to commit to jumping in. But once you're in, you're not here to fight the current. You're here to just surrender into it and let it take you where it needs to go. And this Jinky, like the biggest devotion we can have is the devotion to the present. It's important for us to be devoted to the present. It's not about leaping into the future to find clarity and be like, I'm not going to commit to this unless I know it's going to be successful. We can't go that way. We can't know that. We need to jump in and know, like, this feels good in this moment right now, and I'm here for the experience, not for the destination. So when we're able to be in the present, we flow with it, and then life unlocks and unleashes all these beautiful magical experience for us to have in the present, in the now. It's not about whether it was successful or a failure. Failure is not real. Failure is not an option. So if you can just let go of what success is, the biggest thing is about to release expectations. That's the biggest thing here. Release the expectations, allow yourself to jump in and surrender, and life will deliver you exactly what you need to have an amazing experience. So
yeah, absolutely. Expectation is a big one, and that's what they were leading me to this morning as well, is not to have attachment to what will happen, or having any kind of, with anything we do in our life, having any kind of expectation, just being open and having an open mind and seeing what comes and allowing yourself to adapt and flow with it.
Yep. All right.
Do we want to do the energy now?
Yeah, I'll move forward with the other stuff later, because it feels like a good time to move into the energy.
Yeah.
Are you guys open? Are you ready to experience this? If you release your expectations, like, come in this with an open heart. So Joanna's going to be really good at guiding you through this. So we'll just sit back, relax, and let's just take this all in.
So I want to let you know that if you are driving or you are in a space where you can't sit back and relax, you might want to tune out for this, because we're going to take a little journey and we're going to elevate your consciousness. And so being in a vehicle or driving is not a good idea. Just a heads up. Okay. So I would like everybody to just take a couple of deep breaths as we connect our energies together, create a little river of flow between all of us and all who will be coming on to watch the replay. Just begin to breathe and feel the energy, the breath just moving up and down your spine. Just feel that natural rhythm. And I ask that you be open during this time to just allow me to lead you through it. And if you don't visually see it, just know that you are there. Listen to the subtle energy that surrounds you. Feel into the subtle energy that's around you. And allow yourself to be guided and just enjoy this experience. At any time, if you hear me clearing my throat, coughing, belching, yawning, any of those things, or you yourself are, just go with it. Know that it's a release of energy and it's for your highest good. Just begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Just allowing your body to relax, getting present, tuning into your energy. We're going to breathe in like this 2 more times. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just allowing yourself to sink into your space. Letting go of the tension in your legs and in your shoulders. Just allowing yourself to fully surrender. Breathing in again through the nose and out through the mouth. I want you to begin to tune into your sacral energy center. This lives right around the belly button, in between the belly button and the back of your spine. It's a beautiful orange center of energy. And just tune into the hue of the orange, the speed. Is it spinning too fast or too slow? And as you spend a moment just tuning into the center, I ask that all of your angels, your healing team, your guides, come surround you at this time. I ask that Ashley and I's guides and healing teams surround us. I ask that the chamber of healing be activated, really placing us into this sacred space together. I call on the Pleiadian emissaries of the light to come join us in this time to help elevate our consciousness. And as you tune into this beautiful energy center, I want you to see in your mind's eye you attaching an energetic pathway or cord, if you will. It's gold in color and it's about 4 inches in diameter. And I want you to just connect it to the bottom of your sacral chakra. And I want you to begin to see this cord naturally and easily ascending down into and through your root chakra. Allow it to naturally ascend down and through Mother Earth's surface. Through all of her crystalline layers, just effortlessly guiding through all of it. Really anchoring us in, allowing it to wrap around Mother Earth's beautiful, beautiful crystalline center over and over and over again until it plugs in, connecting, tapping in to her beautiful energy. Just feeling that connection as we allow her golden ray to begin to fill this pathway. Really anchoring us in, lifting up, elevating her healing energies as it begins to enter into our root chakra. Really clearing out, absorbing, allowing that ray to absorb all of your instabilities, all of your thoughts of anything that's unstable in your life, all of your fears, all of your uncertainties in this moment, past, future, all bloodlines and timelines. Just allowing that energy to really help you feel grounded and connected to your own energy presence, your own I am. Feeling that flow of golden energy rising up into your sacral through that beautiful pathway. Allowing that beautiful golden ray to just absorb all of your insecurities, all of your fears, all of your doubts about yourself, about your life. Really just allowing that ray to absorb it all. Opening up the sacral nice and wide, making space for creativity and trust and intuition to flow freely, to begin to spin and activate as we allow that beautiful channel to just spin, energy to just spin, just really tuning into it, beginning to see your sacral light up, feeling maybe a little bit of warmth. As I bring your awareness to this beautiful healing chamber that you are in. It's a white room with white walls and white floors. As you see Ashley and I am presence begin to walk in and join you side by side. As we lock hand in hand and begin to walk over to a door that has appeared. The doorway says the dimensions of higher consciousness. Open the door and step in. This beautiful elevator has the most comfortable benches, most comfortable space as you sit down and lean back. You notice as we close the door behind us, the sign reads, "There is nothing to do but to relax and breathe." As we begin to feel the elevator rise, gently and easily raising our consciousness, raising ourselves into the fourth dimension. Just relaxing and breathing as we begin to rise still, effortlessly and easily into the fifth dimension. Effortlessly and easily rising still into the sixth dimension. Just allowing ourselves to breathe and to be in this space, feeling ourselves elevating, rising effortlessly into the seventh dimension. Rising still as we effortlessly and easily and harmoniously rise into the eighth dimension. Rising still, effortlessly and harmoniously into the ninth dimension. And rising still, effortlessly, breathing through it, elevating into the 10th dimension. Feeling ourselves beginning to expand. As we rise once again into the 11th dimension. relaxing even more, breathing into it, allowing ourselves to naturally and effortlessly rise up and arrive at the 12th dimension. Feeling the shift as we rise up. The door reads the 12th dimension. The intention of this dimension created all that is. This dimension is about our intention. We open the door and we step in. And as we close the door behind us, fully immersing ourselves into the 12th dimension, your eyes begin to open even wider to all of your desires. You begin to see and feel all of the experiences that you have been desiring, all the things, the places, the scents, the feelings. It's all right there. And as you stand there in awe, you begin to see a being, a person coming into focus as they effortlessly flow to you, getting closer and getting closer. You realize it is you. It is your higher I am presence stepping forward for you. And as he or she stands in front of you, you raise your hands palm to palm, connecting in to you, to your higher energetic frequencies. Standing there, connecting hand to hand, heart to heart, feeling that energy beginning to flow through you. And as we allow this beautiful higher frequency energy beginning to flow between you, I want you to ask your higher self, the most truest, honest, loving version of you. Where in your life have you been living half-heartedly? Take a moment and allow your higher I am presence to speak to you. Tuning into your soul, ask your higher I am presence how you can commit to the desires of your soul, how you can feel into that devotional energy. What is your soul desiring you to devote yourself to? And as your higher I am presence finishes any last words, you feel your hands lower. And a step back be taken as your higher self has a gift for you, an opportunity. He or she presents you with a key. This is a master key, a key to unlock your flow, a key to unlock the soul essence to flow within you. He or she hands you the master key, and you have a choice in this moment to activate your higher level of being. If you choose to do so, place the key into your sacral chakra as if it is a lock, and turn the key and say out loud or in your head with me, I invoke the I am in me to unlock the gift of commitment and devotion to me. I choose commitment and devotion to myself, for myself, and for greater good of all that is and will be. Feel that dam within your solar plexus begin to open and filling the flow, rising up into your solar plexus. Feel that magical higher vibrational energy just cleansing those emotional waters and unlocking the dam of empowerment that flows through the channel and into your heart space. Begin to feel this golden flow of energy just exploding in your heart. Joy and ecstasy, and with every breath, as if your heart has gills, beginning to pump with every breath it in through your whole endocrine system, feeling your whole entire body beginning to lighten and tingle with delight and ecstasy. Feel it just overflowing your body. See yourself getting lighter and lighter as it just takes over. And as you begin to get lighter and invigorated even more, you begin to lift. You just begin to lift up, to float up, to rise above, seeing all your desires, all of your experiences that you desire to have, that you already have had, and that you will have. You begin to lose focus of the destination and just begin to see the sparks of joy and love along all the rivers that flow through you, merging into one and effortlessly flowing down and through your central column, just making you feel alive and connected. Lowering yourself back down, just feeling into that presence as you once again walk hand in hand with Ashley and I as we open the door and head back in to the elevator of consciousness. Just taking a moment to relax and be sitting down and leaning back into this feeling of oneness, of connectedness, that freeing energy of being. Feeling it, embodying it, sealing it into our presence as we shut the door of the 12th dimension. And as we slowly and harmoniously lower down the dimensions, we collect our higher energetic bodies. We seal them in, beginning to lower, integrating, harmonizing, flowing into the 11th dimension. Lowering still, harmoniously, integrating, collecting our higher states of being as we lower still into the 10th dimension. Integrating, harmonizing, collecting all the lost parts of us as we lower still into the 9th dimension. Integrating, harmonizing, flowing as we lower still into the 8th dimension. Effortlessly allowing ourselves to integrate, to harmonize, to unify as we lower still into the 7th dimension. Breathing through it, relaxing into it, allowing our higher energetic bodies to lock in, to integrate, harmonize as we lower still into the 6th dimension. Coming into all that is, into that oneness, that universal flow of love and infiniteness, as we harmoniously integrate and lower into the 5th dimension. Lowering still as we integrate all the manifestations of our desires into the flow of our oneness, of our being, and our energy. Integrating all of it, every aspect into the flow, into our DNA, into every cell of our being, as we harmoniously integrate into the 4th dimension. Locking it in for that final integration, harmoniously, effortlessly flowing, arriving into our new state of being, into that higher level of consciousness, while arriving and living and flowing in the 3rd dimension. Opening the door, walking into the healing chamber once again, where we root ourselves back in, connecting back through that whole column of flow, seeing our soul chakra above our crown, that interdimensional funnel that flows effortlessly and easily into our crown and through our 3rd eye as it channels down through our column, opening us up into and through our throat. This beautiful aquamarine ray of energy that is flowing down from the cosmos, from those higher interdimensional states of being, funneling down and into and through your heart, bringing that coolness, that oneness, as it flows and connects down into and through our solar plexus. And down into and through our sacral. Ooh, feeling that magic as we connect down into and through our root, where we plant the seeds of our new intention, our new state of being, into this beautiful, fresh new soil that has been laid. As if a tree, this aquamarine is just watering this beautiful seed into this tree of life, this new way of being that roots down your legs into the root chakras of your feet. And as the soles of your feet begin to open and you feel those roots digging deep, your awareness, your state of being returns to your present space and time. Bringing your awareness, grounding you back into your body, back into your presence, back into your oneness. Beginning to feel your energy once again in this space. Beginning to rotate your wrists and ankles, moving your body, awakening your energy. And when you are ready, returning to our presence. That was a lot of energy. This experience was about feeling in to that devotion, to that truer, higher I am presence that's in you, because so many of us have spent so much time in our life sacrificing or denying our desires, the things that we want to taste in life, to experience in life, simply because we feel that we either aren't worthy, or it's not for us, or that we can't do it, or that we need to put ourselves on hold and wait for the stars to align. And what the universe wants you to know, what your higher self wants you to know is, no, that's not the case. It's a choice we make to align ourselves, to create that path for ourselves. And when we make this commitment, this devotion to stepping into what fully feels in alignment for you, that feels good for you, no matter what that is, when we step fully into that commitment for ourselves and allow ourselves to have that experience, the byproduct of that energy brings those around you into that consciousness, that higher state of being, that oneness, that happiness. Your aura expands and raises, and you then intoxicate the world around you with that energy. And you raise yourself up to that frequency to allow that flow of desires, of all the byproducts that we are seeking, the money, the love, the acceptance, all of that. It just naturally comes as a byproduct of aligning with your true desires, committing to yourself and going in that flow. And that's what this experience was all about, was about allowing yourself to honor yourself. Like, so many times we feel like we need permission to do that. And this was your permission granted. They said, here's the key, you unlock it. And on this river that flows, it connects all these other keys, all these other stops on our journey. And even if you don't have those in your profile, as you can experience right now, we're in the energy of the 29th gene key, whether you have it or not. And so all of these things that are connected with this universal flow, you will experience at some point in your journey. And that connectedness. What are some of the things, Ashley, that connects into this flow?
Before you asked me, I like picked one of these. So what connects into this flow is the 40th gene key, which is resolve and divine will. Exhaustion is when you try to do it with yourself. Divine will is when you let that energy flow through you. It's like you become that conduit and it just comes through you and guides you. And that's the path of surrender. That's the path of relaxation. You have to relax into this and allow that to come. Let's see what else. We have doubt, inquiry, and truth. Remember when we're talking about half-heartedness? The reason that we get into half-heartedness is because we're doubting. We're in the energy of doubt. We don't feel like we can jump in because we're like, I don't know if this is going to be successful. I don't know where this is leading me. But you just need to get curious. You need to get into the energy of inquiry, because that is what's going to lead you, on an experience, on a journey. It's not about the destination. Sure, you can doubt where it's going, because guess what? You don't know where it's going. You're in the present. All you know is what's in front of you. So if it's pulling you, jump in. If you're led there, know that it's the right experience for you, and you get to decide whether you jump in or commit to turning around and walking away. It's a commitment. You either jump in or you don't jump in. But if you stand there and hesitate, that's where the danger is. That's where the doubt comes in, and that's where you feel frozen and stuck. And then you start to get into your mind, right?
Yeah, get into the energy of, let's see what happens if I do this, just because it feels good. And then you're pleasantly surprised because you're just doing it to feel the experience and not be like, I have to do this for this reason. That just feels icky. I like the other.
Me too. Another one that goes with it is Jinky 8, style, exquisiteness, mediocrity. So it's not about surrendering everything to this flow. You still have your essence. You still have the way that you do things, and you can still imagine a surfer surfing the wave. He or she has their own style of surfing. They're going to guide the board, but they're working in harmony with the wave, with the current. They're moving their body, they're moving themselves. So they have their own way of being. That doesn't mean that you just sit back and just don't do anything. I mean, you can do that and surrender and just allow it. But when you feel that urge to put your own essence, your own juice, your own flavor into it, do that, because that's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes an experience for you, a custom experience for you. And let the universe deliver you the right waves, and you'll know when to catch the wave and when to not. That's another choice, commitment. You think when a surfer is waiting for a wave, they're going to see it and they're like, okay, am I going to commit to this wave or not? So they're going to take it, or they're going to move on and wait for the next one, because all the waves are experiences. So you get to decide what wave to take and then how to surf it. So let's see what else. Anything else that wants to come forward for this? Impatience, patience, timelessness. I feel like when we tap into this commitment and we lose ourselves in the experience, we also lose time. We become timeless because we are engulfed in the experience. We have let it become us, and there is no sense of time anymore. It's timeless. I remember when we were doing the energy transmission, they were showing me a timer, an egg timer. You know, the ones what is it called? Where the sand goes from one to the other. It's like this.
Oh, the thing you turn.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, they showed me that, and like the sand going, and then it broke. And it was like nothing. You know, it was like that was my visualization of timelessness. So that it's about, because remember the programming partner of this is Gene Key 30, which is desire, lightness, and rapture, I believe. And that one is Robin Williams popping in. But it's about getting into your inner child. It's about having fun with the journey, the experience, allowing life to move you, allowing to feel light, and energized and excited, and not making this journey serious. Like, I know that a lot of people talk about the hero's journey, and I know there's like trials, tribulations, battles, and sometimes they make it so serious. But what if life is just about experiencing this play? And what if you don't have to go through this crazy journey of turmoil, turbulence, the storm? You don't have to. You get to choose your experience. So what are you aligning with, and what is your heart desire? Because some of you will desire that adventure, that excitement, and you will want to go through that, and that's fine. It's just you get to choose what experience you want, and put your whole being into it. Commit to that experience. The desire is showing up in you because it's going to bring you towards that lightness, that joy. So it's not about us suppressing our desires or saying, no, I don't want to commit to those because they're desires and there's something that I feel unfulfilled. No, it's about you choosing an experience and really losing yourself in the experience, committing it wholeheartedly, devoted. So that's what's important about those choices that you make. Every choice you make it and commit to it and devote yourself to it, and allow that childlike energy to come through, because your life force will be unleashed when you commit to something. If you're half-hearted, the energy is going like this, like in, out, I'm in and I'm out, I'm in and I'm out, and so it can't fully be unleashed. So when you commit, it's like, I will commit to this experience, and I will commit to the complete closing of it. When I feel like the flow is done, when I feel like the wave has reached the shore, you're not going to jump off the surfboard in the middle. You're going to go and ride it all the way in. And if you do fall off, that means it's over. You may not always make it onto the shore. It may end prematurely, but it's never premature. It's just always, there is no failure. There is no mistakes. There's only choices and only leading that flow of life,
Opportunities for awareness, or opportunities of enjoyment, or it's all opportunities of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So allow yourself to get aligned with all these possibilities. Don't have expectations, because when you have expectations, the doors of opportunities are going to go down to just one or two. When you allow yourself to be unattached and just living in the moment, you begin to be attuned to all the possibilities, all the doors, all the streams, all the waves, and then you get to decide, what do I want to commit to? Similarly to like the 14th gate, the 14th gene key. This one's called the keeper of the keys. These people have innate knowing of all those doors. People who have channel 15 and 5 are very attuned to the flow of life. They know where life is leading them, directing them, and they just let the current sweep them. And they're like, oh, should I exit here? Oh, should I do this here? Because the doors are there, the experiences are there. You just need to start becoming attuned to these different frequencies. And that's why, even regardless of if you have gene key or gate 29 in your profile, you're now attuned to it. You have felt it, you have experienced it, you have placed it within you, you've activated it, your awareness is on it now. So now you're attuned to that commitment, so you know what it feels like to commit. And whenever life brings you something to respond to, you no longer need to hesitate. You just need to tap in and be like, is this aligned with something in me that desires this experience? Do I desire this experience? That's all you have to ask yourself. Do I desire this experience? And then jump.
I love that Robin Williams came forward, and they're bringing me back to a time in the invocation that our bodies got lighter and we were able to rise up, because lightness is the programming partner. But also, some of you heard me talk about this when I was in Ashley's group, but Robin Williams came through, one of my mentors, with a message for me, and helping me to refine and understand what it is that I'm here to teach. And I was very close, and the only part I was missing was the setting the proper intention, because there's only 4 stages of an awakening. There's only 4 stages when we go on these journey. And the first stage, I was so wrapped up in just the forgiveness part. I spent a lot of time doing Ho'oponopono and being in that forgiveness energy of, why did I wait so long? And why didn't I do this for myself before? And forgiving people and things. And I forgot to set the proper intention of what it is that I actually wanted for my life, what I actually wanted to experience, what I actually wanted to feel. And so the 4 stages of awakening, the first one is to forgive yourself, others, forgive it all. Because it's all about right now, in this moment, and set your intention. What do you want And that's what the 12th dimension is about. It's about, that's the dimension that created all that is. And so that was the intention, and it had a beautiful intention that it gave us. So what is your intention? And then the second stage is surrender. That's it. Like, surrender into it, lean into it, whether it's fear, whether it's joy, whatever it is, just allow yourself to go in there, lean into it, feel the flow of it, and be in there and say, okay, what does this feel like? And write it out. It's just go with it, And then the third stage we talked about, I'm just going to run through these really quick for people who didn't get the chance to hear that. The third is coming into that oneness. So think about all those rivers that we were talking about before, all those opportunities, all those people that come into your life, because we're not here to do it alone. We're here to do it together, and having all these rivers, and you see it beginning to come to meet you. You see the meeting point now when you're in that third level. And then fourth is oneness. You're in it. You're in the flow, baby. You're riding down the river of life going, was it really always supposed to be this easy? And it's like, yes.
Yeah.
It's not that your life won't give you obstacles or provide, waves, but it's about riding it, adapting, flowing with it, and it's not about like jumping ship and being like, nope, I don't like this. It's just go with it, go with the flow. And so when I was able to have that big picture from Robin come through, and I was like, wow, like it is. And when I stepped into that flow, it really became that easy. It just did. And it's the most amazing experience. So I think I got you a little off track, but I just wanted to show and bring that piece in with these 4 stages, and with integrating that devotion and commitment. You just have to commit to the one desire right now, the one thing that feels good for you, that you feel in your soul that you're ready to experience, and allow that river to lead you to the next connection. Because you're going to come back to one. We're all going to come into that one.
Yeah. Where do all rivers lead?
To the ocean.
And that's where that is where the I am presence is. So I love how this really mirrors the 10th gene key, and it mirrors the spiritual journey. Who am I? Who am I? And really engulfing yourself into that river of your essence, and figuring that out on the way, and the experience of that river. But you have to approach the river and commit to that journey into yourself. Who am I? Who am I? Okay, jump in that river and allow it to lead you. And what happens is you're going to meet people along the way that are going to add into your river. They're going to bring you insights, epiphanies. They're going to teach you things. They're going to give you more experiences. And it's the merging and merging and merging and merging. And then eventually that river is going to lead to the ocean, where you understand your I am presence, where you understand who you are, which is the whole. And you start to realize that you are love. It leads you to that river of love, and you understand your oneness with everything, because you start allowing, life to just merge into you, like all the rivers meeting into one point where it just, everything is one. You're not a drop of water in the ocean. You are the whole ocean in the drop of water, right? So I don't know. That's a beautiful metaphor for that, and I love how it just overlaps and aligns with like this whole journey that we're on. And this is a journey of awakening. This is a devoted journey, a committed journey. And I feel like we move from half-heartedness to commitment to devotion. We are able to get to devotion through our commitment. We're not going to just jump into devotion, right? It's a process, because what happens along the path is you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested for your commitment. And these little experiences and tests are going to just strengthen that and anchor you into that devotion or into that commitment. And then it becomes devotion, and nothing seems to falter you, because you can see that devotion in everything, in every experience. So there is no duality anymore. It's just all that commitment to that thing, to love, to being present. So everything is that presence, is that love. And that's where you get into this stage of devotion, because you're devoted to that thing, and that thing becomes everything to you. They talk about devotion to gurus and people who are really devoted to that teaching or way. And when they become devoted, they start to see it in everything. So nothing can falter them, because everything they see is that. Just like when you start anchoring into who you are in your soul, you start seeing that soul in everything else. you start seeing that abundance in everything else. So you become devoted to that. It's like a turning in, and then you see it out.
It's a rebirth. We just went through this big summer of all this energy coming up and rising up and allowing us the opportunity to integrate all parts of ourselves and come back into this whole and allow for this beautiful rebirth and new beginning. And as I look at the clock, it's 1:23 Eastern, 1:23. So it's it's new beginnings. As we're in it, we're stepping into it. We're taking that next step and saying, this is what I want for my life and what I'm choosing. And we want to share an experience and an opportunity for you to do that and not do it alone. So if you guys have a little bit of time and would indulge us with, we would like to share with you an opportunity, an experience that is available to you. And Ashley's going to share the screen and take over and kind of lead you through it. And while she's getting that ready, I ask you guys to post in the comments any questions that you have about Gene Key 29, about devotion and commitment, any experiences where you really struggled to come into your commitment versus your half-heartedness, and allow us to put a little bit of spin or in our insight on it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Because that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you back to you.
You don't have to do it alone.
Exactly.
And one of Chantel said, the one thing I'm called to do is lead a women's circle. When we were doing the higher self was showing us desires and all that stuff, I started to see a circle of women locking arms, and like in the middle was like a heart and love. I was like, oh, that's kind of what I saw too, unless I was tapping into you, but it felt really true for me. So a lot of us are feeling that.
That connect us.
My question: what does it mean to have Gene Key 29 in the EQ? Okay, so emotions. So committed. So this is the realm of emotions, right? And this is in our second 7-year cycle. So age 7 to 14. Well, think about what was going on in your life in childhood during that time. Your parents start to program their emotional competencies, their emotional strategies on you during that childhood period. And so you have to ask yourself, are you jumping right into your emotions and letting yourself experience them, devoting yourself to them to see what journey they take you on? Or are you kind of half-hearted about that emotional journey? That's kind of what I'm picking up, because it's in the realm of emotion. So it makes me think about our commitment and devotion to our own emotions and our own emotional response, and allowing ourselves to go on that experience within our emotions. What do you think, Joanna?
I agree with you. I also feel like, it's nothing ever happens by chance. And so we just went through this whole rebirth, this whole process of where the emotions were running high and people were feeling things rising up that may have not, that you thought, God, I thought I healed this, or I thought I handled this, or I thought I was over this, and having these experiences rising up because it's another level. It's a deeper understanding and an opportunity to have awareness of that emotion, how it feels in your body, and the manifestation that is the result of what we feel inside. Because whatever's going on in here is going to reflect out there. And that's what the ocean of emotion is all about in our solar plexus, is really allowing ourselves to always be in the awareness of what's good for us, what we need, what we feel, and being in that energy and having discernment that we can see what's going on around us. We can have chaos appear around us. We can have other reflections and things come in, but that doesn't mean that we have to dive into that. We get to choose what we dive into, what emotion we submerge ourselves in. Do you want to go jump into the storm, or do you want to go lay in the serene waters? Like it's and that's what those rivers that flow, kind of represent for me too, is choices. And that a lot of times we feel that we are the victim of a circumstance, but in reality, coming back to E plus R equals O, it doesn't matter what event or situation or person comes forward and appears in our life. It's an opportunity to respond or react and change the outcome of our situation. And so this is what the energy is about right now. In fact, Ashley shared with me yesterday that there's a planetary thing going on that's really allowing us to make that final oomph of this is it, baby. Like, we want to start a new cycle. Do you want to bring in some of that old stuff, or you want a fresh start? You know, and I see that infinity loop, and it's like, here we go. So we're coming to that crossroad, and we're going to begin the loop again. And it's, do you want it to be a fresh, clean, serene loop, or do you want to invite back in some of that chaos? It's a choice. And sometimes, there's no negative or wrong choice in anything we do. Sometimes we need to do it again. It just is. I mean, I did it for many cycles, many years. I did it. So there's never, like Ashley said in the beginning, there's never a wrong thing. It's always lays out exactly how it's supposed to. You're always right where you're supposed to be. And you're always going to be presented with the opportunities, the emotions, the awarenesses that you need at that moment in time.
Yeah. We always get to decide whether we're going to stay in that loop or jump out of it. There's always opportunities. And right now is a perfect opportunity for you to look at, what are you trying to purge? What's coming up for you? And do you want to continue this samsara, this cycle? Or do you want, this is an opportunity to decide, like, no, I'm not committing to this anymore. I'm done with this. And a lot of people are feeling separation in relationships too. And don't feel like just because there's physical separation or they're not in your present anymore means that they are separate from you. They're still part of you. They're just not part of your present experience anymore. And it's okay to let people go if it's not serving your experience. It's okay. You don't have to be committed to every relationship. You have to be committed to being on your own true path and knowing what serves you and what doesn't, because the shadow frequency, half-heartedness, the repressive nature is you stay in these tumultuous relationships because you feel like you need to serve the other person, that you're going to put the other person above you. And that's not the right way to do it, because you don't want to hold on to things that are not serving you, that are not filling you with joy or creating a good experience for you, because you're not at the mercy of your relationships. You get to decide what you're committed to and what you're not, because those relationships are what's going to either bear more fruit or make you feel barren and dry. So you get to decide what you want to commit to. Don't feel like you have to commit to everything. I'm gonna commit to everything. That is a shadow. That is a shadow nature, where you're either overcommitted or you are scared to commit to anything. And usually the people who are still scared to commit to relationships in particular, their whole life is overcommitted just so that they don't have the opportunity to commit to one person. So their whole life just becomes this overcommitment mess, and they're too busy to even have an opportunity because they want that overactivity and addiction.
Hey, Morgan, did you hear all that? Because that's pretty much where you are right now. Morgan and I work together. And so I wanted, she was asking, and it's strong for a lot of people right now who don't have it in their profile because it's active for everybody. But for you, Morgan in particular, she's at a point of rebirth and new opportunities. And they're right there at her door, knocking literally at her door saying, hello, do you want to commit to me, or commit to this relationship, or commit to this opportunity? And so it is showing up for her for that. But I really love, she says, LOL, yes. Gigi asked a question that I really love this, because she says her life's work is 55, and her pearl, which is the gift you give to the world. So when you do your life, when you honor your purpose of your vocation, your life's work is how you're going to, ways of which, because there's multiple ways that we can do this, present it to the collective. And the gift you give them is going to be that commitment, that devotion to themselves. So that's amazing gift to give the world. So what's your take on that, Ashley?
I don't know. I don't.
But I mean, honestly, if your life's works, that's the most important thing for you to know right now is the pearl is the gift you give to the collective by honoring your purpose and delivering it to them and saying, here, when I do this, I give you this devotion and commitment back to yourself. So I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place, sister. That's amazing.
Yeah. But like unlock the pearl, because that's what creates those quantum leaps for you. So like since it's in the center, as you commit yourself to understanding the pearl and catalyzing that pearl, you're going to have those quantum leaps and epiphanies that happen in your life that catalyze that propulsion into the gift frequency of your life's work, your culture, your vocation, because those surround the pearl. And so when you activate the pearl, you have to relate that pearl to everything. So like if your pearl in the middle is simplicity, you have to relate that simplicity to guidance. I'm seeing the 7th gene key. So like division, virtue, or guidance and virtue. So the simplicity. Don't make it complicated how you're leading people. You are simply leading people, however that comes to you. So don't get too overcomplicated with that. And that's your life's work. So like add that simplicity to how you're guiding. Add that simplicity to, okay, so 47 is oppression, transmutation, transfiguration. So if your pearl is simplicity, you need to make things simple so that you can move into that transmutation. Don't make it complicated. It doesn't mean this big, huge, long process of healing. It's going to make it too hard for you. Just simply shift your perspective. Simple. Shift your perspective and it will give you the quantum leap that you desire. And if it's in your culture sphere, that unlocks prosperity, that unlocks abundance, that brings you your tribe. You understand who your tribe is in that. And me and Joanna we'll move into this, but we're creating an experience where we're going to take you through these spheres and really dive in deep to them. We're devoting to this journey into yourself and unlocking these things for you so that you understand them and so that you can catalyze these quantum leaps within your being so that you can start understanding who you are, unlocking those gifts, grounding into those gifts, coming into the person that you are becoming, that you are at your core, your true self, opening your heart, taking down those walls, reconnecting with your inner child. And when you have embodied that, you're able to catapult into that pearl sequence where you are becoming of the utmost service to humanity. Because it's not about self-serving service. It's about serving from the heart. And knowing that you're putting something out there that is just so aligned and beautiful because it comes from your true.
What you guys don't know behind the scenes is Ashley and I have finally come together. We have united and we have created what we've created Lighthouse Leaders. And this is a business that the two of us are going into together. That's really about uniting the collective, because I talk a lot about this, and I know Ashley talks a lot about this. It's not about a competition. It's about allowing us to come together to serve the collective as a whole. We all have our own filters that we place so we can all teach the same thing. But the first thing that we created together as a part of this experience is the devotion experience, but at a different level, because we want you to, just as you did today, we want you to not only go through your own, so this will be going through your own golden profile, but this is going to allow for that energy piece to come in and for allow the two of us and our different filters to combine and really give you a whole new way of being guided back into yourself and being supported in this beautiful container and allowing it to be just that, a beautiful experience, not some dreaded shadow work that we need to do to move through, but allowing you to taste and feel and experience what it is that you need to experience. So with that being said, Ashley, if you would kind of guide us through.
Yeah, totally. So with this mini devotion experience, so that you can taste what it feels like to be committed and devoted to yourself, we want to take you on an extended journey where we go through this experience together through 3 stages. So the 3 stages have to do with the different sequences in the gene keys. So this has to do with that gene keys golden path experience. And it is the journey into your awakening. Like Joanna was talking about the stages of awakening, we're going to take you into that. And it's going to merge in with the gene keys journey. So the first journey is going to be about, going into your activation sequence, understanding those gifts. We are going to be very in the present, because remember, devotion and commitment have to do with your devotion to the present moment. We're not going to be jumping ahead. So like the energies that are coming through in the present moment, we are going to weave them into the tapestry of this program. So we're going to follow what energies are present in the now. So we're going to bring in those, and we're going to experience the energy transmissions of them, and we're going to dive into each of your guys' profile and really get deep down into the nitty-gritty of it all, so we can all contemplate together, create this community space to do this together instead of feeling like we need to do it alone. So I'm not gonna, you guys will be able to read this. We'll give you the link for this, but it talks about each of the journeys. There's 3. So obviously we have the activation, the Venus, and the Pearl sequence. And we have in this the different devotions. So like devotion to the journey inside. So that's the activation sequence, understanding your gifts, who you are, your devotion to yourself. The second phase of it is devotion to your heart. So we're unlocking our heart, we're opening up, tearing down those walls. Like I said, we're going to go into inner child stuff. Obviously, we're going to do forgiveness work and lots and lots of love, self-care, and community, because I feel like that's what we need, the circle. That we're going to hold this space for you to have this experience. And then obviously once we can connect and anchor ourselves into that, we get to come into the devotion of our purpose. But I don't feel like it's really, you can devote yourself to your purpose, but it's going to be very surface level unless you go through and get down and anchor yourself in. It's going to be very vapid. It's not, you can't really focus on that purpose unless you know who you are. Because how could you know what your purpose is unless you know who you are? It's going to start unfolding. It's like a flower, and it's going to continue to unfold, but it just allows you to really understand what that essence of that flower is as you dive deeper into the roots of it, knowing how it's seeded, how it sprouted, and how it's blooming. You want to know all parts and pieces of you, not just what it's offering the world, not just the fruit it bears, really the whole process of it, because that's important. Is there anything you want to add, Johanna?
Yeah, because for me, I mean, a lot of times, and even for myself, when I first started, I just wanted to know what my purpose was and what I could do to go create it out in the world. But what I quickly discovered was I wasn't going to do that successfully. I wasn't going to have all the fruit that comes along from that tree that I'm planting if I'm not open, if my roots are not open and expansive and rooted down and just allowing that flow. And that came from opening my heart and really making space to receive. Because if you're going to do this for business or just to enjoy your life, it doesn't really matter. You have to make space. You have to put down all the stuff that you've been holding on to for so long and set it down so your hands are free to receive from anyone. And so that's what that heart opening, that for me, the Venus sequence, the opening of my heart was instrumental in creating that flow. Like it was allowing the hose to unkink and just the water to run, And so I feel like so many times we get caught up in well, what's my purpose and what am I going to do and how can I make the money? And it's like, all of that is going to be a byproduct of the love that you feel and the joy that you feel and the freedom that you feel within you. And that happens when you open your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Because how could you receive if it's not open? You want to give, but you're not open to receive, because when you block your heart off from things, it blocks it from source. It blocks it from everything. You are just protecting yourself. And why do we need to protect ourselves? So we're here to kind of break down those walls and allow yourself to understand what true giving and receiving, because infinite love is unconditional love, and unconditional love means we don't put boundaries up. We don't protect ourselves. We're just completely open and giving and free, because we come from this act of giving from the heart, not protecting and giving from the mind, because we're scared to expose our heart. Our love can't be taken from us. Nobody can steal that peace, that love from ourselves. And so we need to deepen that understanding that it is infinite. It does not run out. It is always within us. And when you understand that and get that firm foundation there, then nothing that happens outside of you can affect that internal state of being. So it's really about tapping into that being first. So we take you on these different journeys, and all these journeys, we are creating an experience out of it. So it's not just going to be a course that, like, here's how you guys are going to learn this. We're going to come together and have retreats together. We're going to get together in person. And this is included in all of these journeys. So there's 3 different journeys. The first one obviously is into the activation sequence. And we're going to figure out who we are, releasing labels, beliefs, judgment, attachments, expectations. Dive into the line numbers. I know a lot of you are very curious about the line numbers. We are going to dive deeper into those particular gene keys, the line numbers, the pathways. Those are important. So like what connects them, because that's what catalyzes this growth within you. So like your radiance to your purpose is core stability. This is what's going to anchor you into yourself. You can't just go out there and put your purpose out there and be like, hey guys, I'm offering this. This is my business and this is how I'm going to do it. If you're not anchored into it, you just float away, and everyone's like, where's she going? I don't know where she's going. And there is no anchor. We can't catch up to her, and I don't really understand what she's offering, right? Because there's a level that the depth isn't there. So we need to take you deep down and allow you to anchor into yourself, into your heart. And when you're yeah.
It is an online journey. Like we'll be coming together online, but we will have 2 in-person weekenders. There'll be a Friday to a Monday. And then the middle one, the Venus weekends, happens around the holidays. And so we're going to do an online retreat for that one, which is going to be epic because we've already been bringing people together for that. And so that's what when we say that we're going to have in-person stuff, we're going to have weekenders. So not like week-long stuff, just weekends where we come together. And I'm just going to throw this out here real quick because it's coming up. And so I want people to know that the first one is going to be in Asheville, right? Is that the first one we're doing? And so we're going to visit the vortexes in Asheville when we come together for that one. And then the last one, and the second one will be the online retreat, and the third one will be in Sedona. And the reason why I want to bring in the vortexes and go to places like that with that high intensity energy and rooting back into that connection is connecting above and below, is walking in the 3D and living the 3D, but while still being in the 5D, with still having that type of consciousness and freedom and energy available to you, embodying it, and just being able to live the way that you've always wanted to live without feeling boxed in by society and by what the shoulds and coulds and what you feel is normal. Like, who made these rules? Let's break down what normal is and what society says and say, forget that. This is what I want. This is what feels good to me. And we want to integrate all those pieces of what's in the energy of the keys right now. So like right now it's 29. And when we go into, when we open the doors for this and we start, what's the energy coming in from the collective of the gene keys and how does it fit in with mine? And so we're going to do all those parts and pieces. We're going to bring in the energy. We're going to bring in the connection and just talking about it and the lines. And like I call those the filters, and just bridge it all together.
Yes, yes. Because it's important to not look at so narrow-mindedly. It's about looking at the wholeness of it, the integration of it all, not just like, I'm going to look at this and we're going to dive into this gene key and this line and just stay there. You have to widen your perspective and pull in all of it, because that's the totality of who you are. And that goes with what energies are coming in. We're going to make it easily digestible. It's going to be simple. It's not going to be complicated. But I do want you guys to be, we are going to bring in these activated energies. Like when we start this, we'll be in exhaustion, resolve, and divine will. So a lot of you will be coming in here either very exhausted because it's like force, and we're going to need to surrender into divine will and resolve and allow it to take us where it needs to take us. So we're going to talk about that and how that has to do with your life's work, because we want to use the totality of this experience. So like, what energies are coming in from the sun? What energies are coming through your profile? What is this community doing for us? Because this is definitely a container and it's semi-permeable. We're not creating these rigid boxes around you. It merges and evolves with you. We just created the vortex for you guys to all come into to catalyze these quantum leaps within you, because we're here to support you on that journey. And yes, you can do this alone. And I have done this alone. And me and Johanna came together to do part of it together. But it's so much more rewarding having people around you that get it, because yeah, we will dip into the shadows and we will be going through that kind of stuff just because it's life and it's not all rainbows and butterflies. And we want to have that support system so that you don't need to stay there that long. If you're in the shadows, do the shadow work. If you're not in the shadows, we're not doing the shadow work, right? It's just
and have someone have us to reach out to and say, you know, here's where I am, and allow us to direct you back into you, to give you the proper inquiry, the proper questions that will lead you to discovering your truth and how to move through it. Because it isn't about us giving you the answer. It's not about us handing you the magic potion. It's us guiding you, directing you back to that proper inquiry that will be like, okay, now I see it. Now I can grasp onto it. Now this is tangible. And it's that aha moment, that light bulb that we guide you back to, that helps kind of cement it, lock it in. You know, I think about things like, I don't know why this is coming up, so I'm going to use it, but it's like when you're 16 or your daughter's 16 and you hand her a brand new car. She didn't earn that car. She didn't go pick the car. She has no investment into that car. And so she's not going to treat it very well. She's probably going to go get in a wreck. But if you have the child buy the car and you support them in that endeavor and they make the choice, they pick the color, they pick the type, they put their energy and money invested into that, then they're going to treat it well. They're going to be all about it. And so for you, you have to have that investment in that experience. You have to have that tangible piece that you discover for yourself, that you grab onto.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Adding into the mix of everything, we're also going to be, Joanna's going to be leading different moon ceremonies. So like if we have a full moon, a new moon, we're going to see how these energies are going to support us. So everything is about support. Everything is for us. No, things aren't working against us. We're not victims to anything. So we want to use all the things that are magnetizing to us. We are very magnetic, and the universe is bringing us all these different things to aid us in our journey. And so we want to give you the tools, and you can decide what you want to use, right? Because it's not about the way, and it's not about the tools. It's about the commitment to that journey. So you can have like a whole plethora of tools, but the most important one is that tool of your soul, yourself. All the other things are just, fun things to do, I guess. They help, right? But there's nothing that is more powerful than your inner trust and your commitment and devotion to yourself and tapping into your own inner wisdom. You guys have that. And so we want to reconnect you with that so that you don't need the gene keys, so that you don't need all of these things externally, and you really have that deep understanding. Like, we want you to evolve past this.
Yeah. So when you're living your life and in the future, you come across an obstacle or a new opportunity of awareness, you recognize it right away. You have that awareness and you're like, I have moved through this before. I've gone through this experience. And so then it becomes effortless. You don't go down the rabbit hole anymore. You just move right through it. It's easier for you. It makes life easier.
Yeah. So we take you through all the different spheres in the activation sequence, with the accompanying energies and moon cycles and stuff like that. And this is where we have the weekender in Asheville. And if you guys can't commit to the whole journey, like it doesn't work out with your schedule, we offer the different journeys separately, so you can commit. We are calling in people who want to commit to the whole experience, because that's like the true commitment through this all. So I know the majority of you guys will be that, but we don't want to exclude anyone, because if you are devoted to this, we want you to be able to have that opportunity to jump in and experience that particular journey with commitment and devotion. So even if you can't go through it, and this goes all the way until March. So it starts September 1st through March 17th, I believe. And we're going through this all together with integration periods as well. So we'll give you time to like pull back, lean back, magnetize, integrate, all that stuff before we hop into the next thing.
Yeah. And I love that, like for the activation sequence, if you can, for just roll back just a little tiny bit so I can see the moon thing. So we're going to end part 4 on a full moon ceremony, which a full moon is all about releasing the old. And that's what we've been doing in the activation part, is releasing the old parts of us that no longer fit us, and tearing down those walls and those boxes, and being in Asheville at an energy vortex where it's going to magnify our new intention. Right. And so it's just all this energy is going to be building up, and we're just going to allow it to think about it. When a dam breaks, when a dam opens, everything just flows. And that's what that whole column, that whole experience that we just went through. And so we're going to be releasing those gates. We're going to be opening ourselves up and allowing our new energies to flow through. And so it's just perfectly, we could not have made this up. Like, it just perfectly aligned with the energies of the gene keys throughout this journey, with the moon cycles, with the places that we wanted to go. It just all came together like the most effortless, easiest thing we've ever done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was so crazy putting this together and seeing how aligned it was. And a lot of you guys know in my group, I just finished my 40-day Kriya, my Kundalini Yoga Kriya today. And so I don't know, it's just so aligned. I'm like, oh yeah, of course I'm ending my devotion commitment to myself that on the day that it ends on this 29th gene key. I'm like, of course, and we're launching this. So all of the things that I have magnetized in me during this, because devotion to yourself creates this magnetism within you. It strengthens and expands your auric field so that life pulls in these synchronicities, this magic, this luck. And so when you are devoted to something, it makes you magnetic and just vibrate. And so when you do a 40-day Kriya or 90, 100, or and whatever, however long you do it for, when you end it, it's crazy. Like the shifts that happen and the things that magnetize and catalyze you. So I'm like, oh, of course I'm ending this. And of course we're launching it this day. So I'm just like ready. I'm just ready. So, and it feels so good to have done this, because I have not committed myself to anything for 40 days besides brushing my teeth, you know. So, it's amazing.
It is.
And then
so maybe if journey 1 isn't for you, maybe you are someone who just wants to do the Venus sequence, so you can choose that. So as she goes into journey 2, like you can just choose that one section if that's what's calling to you. But like Ashley says, I feel like it's going to be more people through the whole thing, but maybe, that's not for you. So what could you do in the Venus sequence? What comes through here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the Venus sequence, we're really devoting ourselves to our hearts, to our relationships, not just relationships to others, but relationships to self. Obviously opening our hearts and forgiveness work, heart wall work, because heart walls are energetic things. They're the things that I had a heart wall. I was working with a practitioner a while ago, because emotions, your heart wall can be stored with emotions, with thoughts, and they're the things you repress or think you need to protect yourself from. So just leashing them out and just allowing your heart to be completely open is what allows you to, come into that active service and understand what unconditional love is, and understand what true giving and receiving is, without putting filters, protections over it. So we dive into that, go into your childhood, obviously spheres, lines, pathways, that nitty-gritty stuff. We bring in the different energies too. So we're going to do the attraction sphere, the people that you attract into your life, into your relationships. What are the themes there? Then we move into your IQ, which is how your mind works, and then EQ, how your emotions work. We're going to dive back into the ring of matter, take you back through your childhood, kind of deprogram, decondition you, allow you to come back to your true essence, your true source, take down all those limitations, beliefs, judgments, all those things that you just pulled on during the course of your childhood and adulthood, and get you back to reset point, get you back to 1 point, because that's what the SQ is returning to the 1 point, returning to yourself. And the 1 point is literally the part where your belly button had the umbilical cord to your mother, because in the core ends up being your vocation. So what was imprinted on you in the womb ends up being your vocation, ends up being what you are here to do. And so we need to return to that womb space to start creating from that womb space, to understand what we came here to do. Because when we were born, we knew it. We knew how to flow in who we were. And then over time, we let things condition us, and it's not a bad thing. It's all experience and a learning process. So now we're just going back to our source, to our essence, and uncovering that and really embodying that and anchoring into that, because it's really important for us to know who we are as this vessel, filter, body, personality, archetype, right? We're archetypes. And then who we are as a soul, because that soul is the same, that essence is the same through all of us, that namaste, like the unity, the God source. We all have God source within us. So we need to come back to that. So that's what we're doing here. I didn't even realize Gene Key 10 is in this one. Gene Key 10 is all about the spiritual journey. So it makes sense that we're ending the SQ with this, because this is about coming back into being, into naturalness of who you are, your essence, and the I am presence that is within all of us. And then we'll have the online retreat. So the different things that we're doing there, it's still developing. We'll have goodies for you. It's going to be really an amazing treat. So that one's going to be great. And obviously you can purchase this separately or the whole thing, and all you have to do is schedule a connection call with me and Johanna so we can talk to you about how committed you are, what you are, expecting, allowing to connect to us to see how we all mesh together. And then moving on into the third, which is the pearl sequence, which I feel is like, Thanks, Sarah. She's bringing in some Kundalini breath of fire. She's like, thank you for that energy. So journey 3, pearl sequence. And I know all of you are like, I want to get to my pearl sequence. I want to unleash my purpose. I want to be like, a lot of you want your business to thrive, but I want to tell you, you need to thrive before your business thrives. So yeah, you can just purchase this sphere, but I'm going to tell you right now, there is so much things that happen in the previous journeys that are going to set you up for success in this pearl sequence. So like I said, with half-heartedness, commitment, devotion, how devoted are you to this process within you, to this journey and experience within you? What are you devoted to? Like, yes, you can go into the Venus or the different ones. You can just buy 2. It doesn't matter. But commit yourself to this journey, the whole journey, whether it's here or outside of here. I just want to preface that, like, dive into it yourself, commit to it. This is just a way. It's not the way. But if you're here and you're resonating with it, it might be, it might catalyze something. There's a reason why you're magnetized to this, why you are attracted to this. So here's an opportunity for you to decide with the 29th gene key. Are you going to commit to yes, or commit to, I'm going to find a different way? Like what resonates? What experience do you want to have? What wave do you want to ride? This is a wave you get to ride. And just decide if that's what's calling you, like Moana. We'll go into our vocation. We're going to say something?
I just want to say that Jenny said that she loves this, and I do too, because I'm sitting here like I'm like totally into what you're saying. I'm like, I already know all this, and I'm like, talk more, say more.
Yeah. I feel so much passion in this because I'm really devoted to this, and I have been doing this in my group for a while. But I have been doing it half-heartedly because I haven't committed myself to this yet. And as soon as me and Johanna came together, I was like, of course it's time. But because I've been doing it, right? And I come in there and I pop in and I did that series, What the Fuck Are My Gifts? And you guys learned from that. But like, I haven't committed myself to an extended period of time where we're really diving in, because I feel like this is like my zone of genius. And you guys have listened to me before, and you've experienced Joanna's activations as well. And honestly, like, I love how our energy is coming together to create this baby. And you're pulled into this because you're pulled to us as well, and what we're creating an experience, and you're coming in to feel into that experience and bring in your own perspective to the experience, because this is a co-creation. Mm-hmm. It's not just, and we're not rigid about you will experience this. That's not how we are. We're very open to possibilities. And so while we have these, this is just an outline. It's not like the nitty-gritty, like, this call, we talk about this and all that stuff. And we're not even talking about how many calls are, you'll notice there's not all these calls, like how often we're going to pop in. We are not about these deliverables. Let me tell you, your results come from your commitment. So it's not what we are delivering to you, it's what you get out of it. So there is obviously an exchange, right? So you give us something, we give you something, but what you give us, we have a perception of it. What we give you, you have a perception of it. And the results come from your own perception. And so allow yourself to be open to the possibilities. Don't be like, I'm coming into this because I want this. That's having an expectation of a result. You really need to let go of that, because the universe has something way better than you can even imagine. Because right now you're in the present looking at this and saying, I want to go there. But maybe the flow is taking you somewhere else. And maybe it completely transforms your whole life and it's completely different at the end of it. Be open to whatever happens, because it's for your highest and best, because that's the intention that we're setting here. And like Joanna was saying, the first stage of awakening is setting that intention. Don't get too caught up in these expectations and results. It's not what it's about.
Because the results are going to be different for everybody. Everybody's going to have different aha moments and different things activating and opening and releasing within them and integrating. Like, everybody's going to have these different things going on. And when, you know what, the beauty of having this container is the perfect energies will come together. The people who are meant to come into this and be in this, the energies will all come together perfectly. And there's something that person is going to say or do that's going to give you a different perspective than you had and lead you back into you. And it's going to be this exchange between all of us. Like Chantel was saying, this circle of energy, it's creating this sisterhood or brotherhood or whatever. We don't have to label it boy or girl, but creating this unity of people that come together in energy and allowing us to have this exchange. And when we do these energy sessions or these ceremonies, any kind of energy exchange, when we connect our energy, it just magnetizes bigger and bigger and bigger. And what we heal and ignite and open and awake within ourselves, we do for everybody, for all timelines, all bloodlines, and it just expands. And I know that, and you know that saying, you know, happy wife, happy life. It's freaking true. If you're happy, if you yourself are happy by yourself,
Yes.
everybody else around you is going to feel that happiness, and you'll elevate their frequency just by being around them.
Totally. My dog is like in and out and in and out. Okay, you're not committed to this experience, Sarah. Oh my gosh. So to conclude the whole journey, we end up in the vortexes of Sedona at the end, March 1st through 4th. And then if you sign up for the whole experience, we're going to give you a bonus experience. So we'll do a closing event, and we're going to journey into the portal of the 25th gene key, which is universal love, which is acceptance, universal love. It's going into love. It's journeying into that portal of love and going past the gene keys and evolving into oneness. So it's going to be flipping amazing. And Joanna's really good at channeling galactic beings. So we're going to see who's going to want to come forth, because we're not going to pre-plan this. We're here now. So in the moment, and also for those of you that are joining, we're definitely going to be tapping into your guys' energies and really reading that. So that's why we're not going to have a script of like, this is what we're going to do and this is how it's going to go. We need to be present. So I'm devoted to being present. That's part of my culture. So I know that Gene Key 42 is big for the people that I'm pulling in as my tribe. I need to be very present. I need to teach people how to be present. So we're going to be very present with the now and the energies now, and not leap ahead and start planning and getting anxiety from that, because that's what's going to happen is you're going to get anxiety going that way. So you're going to be very present and find the happiness and joy and love now in the present moment by connecting to each of soul to soul to soul to soul. Right?
Yep.
And I'm feeling, okay, so I wasn't going to say this, but that number keeps popping, but I'm feeling 11 of you. And I'm usually very good at feeling into that. Like that's what I do in my business, because I understand magnetism is my radiance. So I know who's coming to me. And I told Joanna this when we were creating this. I was like, I feel, first I asked her, I was like, how many people do you feel? She's like, 11. I'm like, okay, good. Cause that's what I got too. So we're holding space for 11, but if more want to join, that's fine. But I really feel that that commitment, devotion, those individuals, there's going to be 11 of you. And so we're holding space for those 11 to come. So if you're feeling that inkling, I would schedule that connection call with me and her this coming week so that we can talk about if you're one of those individuals. And
we'll be honest with you, because here's the thing, like we want you to be, this is about you. This isn't about us. So this is about you being committed. This is just an opportunity for you to take this journey. And like she said, there's other things and other opportunities out there. So if this is speaking to you, then indulge yourself with speaking to us and allowing our energies to connect, just the three of us, and see what comes together. Because when we talk about, you know, the fact that there's two of us and one person on that call, it creates this trinity, this illumination that happens, and we're able to bring insights to you and allow you to speak your concerns to us. And we just open the door to more inquiry and to see if our energies mesh. Because if it doesn't feel in alignment, then obviously we're going to tell you that this doesn't feel right for you right now, because we really want this to be really flowing, beautiful energy.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Totally. So if you're pulled to complete the Trinity, and some of you will just be coming because there's going to be something on the call that catalyzes something in you, and then we part ways. And then there's some of you that are going to be like, I want to continue, because you're committed to that devotional journey to yourself, and you know that this is the way that you want to take. And then others, you'll be like, oh, I understand this isn't my way, so I want to go a different way. And we're gonna help you discern that. And you, obviously, being infinitely wise as you are, you're gonna know that. And so another thing that you'll notice is we don't have prices on here. And let me tell you why we don't have prices on here. That's because we don't want you to fall into half-heartedness, because your mind is going to take over and fear will set in. And I'm not saying that it's not crazy expensive. It's not. I invested $20,000 in myself. That was a crazy leap for me, but I had to do it because I had to get over that fear of that much money. And tons of things catalyzed for me. Once you see that fear and step through it, boom, things happen. So that's why we didn't, but we will talk. We'll be very upfront and honest about it with you guys. I just didn't want you guys to come to the
and
shore.
It's not $20,000, just so you know.
No. $20,000. Don't worry. And all of the retreats are included in it. So that's part of the
I'm so excited about these retreats. I can't even begin to fathom. I've already like had these visions of seeing us hiking up to the vortexes in Asheville and just having these crazy, the explosion of energy, seeing us laugh and that frequency raising when we come together. Like I don't see faces, but I just see these, bodies of energy with us and just having the most magnetizing time ever. So I just cannot wait to be in this and get going and be present every day, because like you said, you have to be fully present, and so do I. I am all about flow. Like I have to stay in the flow. So I'm excited to let this flow.
Mm-hmm. Likewise. So there's a little section in here that talks about us, but most of you already know us. The different package options. So complete experience or one journey at a time. The bonuses. Oh yeah, Joanna. So we're going to give one-on-one sessions for people who pay in full. So I don't know if we talked about it, but it's on there. So now it's, so if you guys pay in full, you get a one-on-one session with Joanna and a one-on-one session with me for that journey. And then when you sign up for the whole part, you get the devotion experience online closing event, plus a surprise initiation and invocation during that closing event. And so you're going to get those too. So we want to reward you for like the devotion. We want that to be the magic that comes in too, because the universe is going to reward. We're rewarding you, and we want to reinforce and solidify the fact that the universe is going to reward you too for that level of commitment and devotion.
Yeah.
But there's no judgment for that. There's no judgment, right? Because love doesn't judge. That's not what love is.
No. And Isis is here, and she's with us right now because and I've shared this with you before, Ashley, when we were talking about the closing invocation and initiation, and she's been over here talking to me, and she is going to be one of the ones that shows up for that, because Isis is all about the rebirth and the anointing of the priestesshood. And she is very excited. And it's something that I recently went through after going through this journey with her. And so I needed to say that. So anyway, she's present. She's making her presence known, and she is going to be there at the end. And so it's not really a surprise anymore, but there will be other surprise beings that will step forward, because the energy hasn't been completely defined yet. It's coming together. It's flowing together still. So, but that has been, that she was very prominent, and anybody who channels or connects with a being knows that they like you to say what they're saying.
I have come forward. Be my vessel. Be my conduit. You rang.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so for those of you that are interested, that like how we come together, what we're offering in this experience, and if you want to add to the energy, because it's definitely all about like mastermind, master heart. We're coming together. It's not just like, oh, teacher, like there's no hierarchy. We don't believe in that hierarchy. So we're coming in, and each of us are bringing in our gifts, because we want you all to uncover those gifts and know what you're adding to the community, know what you're adding to life. And we want to illuminate that so that you can see that light and turn it up, so that you can be the beacon for other people, because we're all about that.
And you don't have to be anywhere on a certain space in your spiritual awakening or journey, or even your gene key process. This is open for anybody. The only thing that you are required to do is be devoted to the experience and yourself, and be open. That's it. Because I really feel like there's some people who think, well, I'm not quite there on my spiritual journey yet, or I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. You don't have to know anything. All we're asking is, if you're going to commit to this, is that you be devoted to yourself, the journey, and be open. That's the only requirement. You don't have to be in some massive spiritual awakening. You don't have to listen and channel beings. You don't have to have any of that stuff. This is about a journey back to you and opening up you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. with that, I'm just gonna stop
Perfect.
sharing. So,
And if you guys have any questions, or anybody watching or listening to this replay has any questions, please feel free to comment, to reach out, to to message us and set up a time to open up that dialogue and have that conversation. Because we want to be here for you and support you, and that's what we're here for, and that's why we want to set up that connection call. So we thank you so much. I know I do, for you coming and being here and going just through the energy process alone. That it's a lot for sometimes for people to open themselves up to those higher dimensional opportunities of awareness and energy. So I thank you, and I thank all the beings that came forward today to support us here, and to our devotions to ourselves. And at the very least, I hope that this gave you new clarity on your own personal commitments and devotional journeys.
Very well said. Thank you for hanging with us. Those of you that went on this 2-hour journey with us, thank you so much, and we appreciate you, and we hope to connect with you guys in the coming weeks. So very excited. This starts September 1st. So if you're interested, let's get the conversation rolling now, and let us keep in touch with us too. Let us know like what has shifted for you, because we're in the energy of the 29th. Let's continue this conversation and see what catalyzes for you and what opens up for you, and what new commitments you're making, and what you're becoming devoted to. So thanks again, and thanks Johanna for coming on with me and sharing this space with me. It was so much fun, and I really enjoyed this, and we will be talking to you guys later.
Bye guys.
Bye everybody.